Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, your number one source for income-oriented investing. But today's video is going to be about Panama and more of our personal life. So I'm going to give you an update. This is a Panama 2025 update, I believe. So there's always some interest, right? My past Panama videos, I haven't done any in a while, but I went back and checked just to see the interest, and it looks like, a lot of them have over 10,000 views. So obviously you guys are interested. Maybe you're thinking about becoming a non-resident. So this is just an update on our situation here in Panama 2025. So the first thing I will tell you, first piece of good news, is we finally got our permanent residency. So this card is what you get throughout the process. This yellow card, you get a temporary one, then a permanent temporary one throughout. It basically took a little over 2 years, but we finally have our permanent residency. So that's done. My wife and I got it. So that is, we're pretty much done. We're considered permanent residents. We still have to get our cedula card, which is kind of like a national ID card, which if you don't have that, they always ask for your Canadian passport. Apparently, this is not really good enough. This is more just for your residency status. But the cedula, now that we have our permanent residency, we should be able to get in the next couple of weeks or so. We just have to check back with the lawyer. So that's it. We are permanent residents of Panama now, which is fantastic. And if you're curious, the entire process cost maybe lawyer fees and immigration fees and everything. The lawyers take care of everything. About I can't really remember exactly because there was several installments, but you're looking between 6 and 7,500, maybe a bit less than that USD for the whole thing. So it's pretty easy. It's not that expensive either. So that's it for the Panama update for the residency. Now, in terms of where we're living now, so I'm pretty sure I talked about this in a previous video, but we lived in Coronado, which is really the heart of where the expat community is, which is about an hour and a half away from Panama City. And we were at the Coronado Country Club, where there's 3 towers. That's where we were living for a few years. And basically we 5 months ago, 6 months ago or something like that, we moved to the Vista Mar Marina. So that's where we're currently at right now. We're actually renting a house at the Vista Mar Marina. So just to give you a bit of background of why we actually broke our lease and had to leave the Coronado Country Club, was just the unbelievable amount of noise there was during the day. There's a lot of construction inside the tower, outside the tower. Also, there was a problem with the gas. There was like no gas for 5 months. So the stove, right? Everything's done by stove, washer and dryer, hot water, all that's with the gas. That was also a big problem. It turns out the gas actually came back like a week after we actually left. But either way, the gas was just the tipping point. The real problem was the noise. We were really having trouble working because during the day there was lots of construction outside, because there's 3 big towers, and then there's maybe 32 private villas right in front which are in the complex but are right on the beach. And a lot of these, when somebody renovates it, the other neighbor has to renovate. So a lot of them were being torn down, and it's just an obscene amount of noise during the day. And even within our tower, there's expats and people renovating their units. So we were kind of like going crazy. We were a bit desperate. We started looking around. We saw this house at Vista Mar. We thought the price was okay, $2,900 a month. It's a pretty nice big house. It's not directly on the beach, but we could kind of see the ocean, the big yard and pool. And we just said, out of desperation and we need some quiet. And this is really a place where it's a little bit more isolated, very, very quiet. And we said, what, let's just try out a house. We haven't lived in a house over 15 years. So to give you an update on that, there's pros and cons to living in a house here. And let me just start off by saying we definitely don't see us staying here permanently. A house, we know for sure now, a house is not for us. We prefer staying in a tower for many reasons. So let's talk about the pros first. So the pros of where we at now is the unbelievable quiet. It's really quiet. It's really amazing if you want to hunker down and work, you want some peace and quiet. It's great. We do have a nice big backyard. Cats are running around. That actually caused some problems at the beginning because there's a stray cat that came and got into a fight with one of our cats, bit it, got an infection, had to take it to a vet. Anyway, besides that, now it's more or less stable. It's good. There's a pool. The problem these are the pros. The cons are it's definitely a lot more expensive to maintain because there's garden maintenance and pool maintenance. And if you add all that up, it's over $3,000 USD a month that we're paying right now, which is fine for us. It's just we're not really enjoying it as much as we thought we would. So the backyard is great, but there's no cover from the sun, so it's practically impossible. You get cooked. We actually bought like a gazebo. It didn't even last for 12 hours. It flew away during the night. In the morning, it was destroyed. Everything is from China here, practically. I guess maybe because of the Panama Canal. So I could clearly say that the U.S. has a point here. A lot of stuff that you buy here. It's very hard to find quality good stuff here, especially the outskirts, because I'm not in Panama City, right? So it's a bit harder to find stuff. I'm sure it's a lot easier in Panama City. But anyway, we barely use the pool as well. It's a little, more like a dipping pool. The cats are definitely having a lot of fun. Another thing, a big problem. By the way, another pro is the garage. Finally have a garage to put my car in, which is fantastic. Yeah, and it's a nice house. It's 3-bed, 4-bath, so guests are comfortable in a room. But the thing is that this house, it's owned by someone who's out of the country, and the house hasn't been properly maintained either. So we've had air conditioning issues, septic tank issues we had to deal with. It's just been a pain in the ass. Now everything is fine, but we still know for sure a house is not for us. We definitely prefer the tower with a view of the beach and you can look at the stars. A big problem here is the bugs. The bugs, guys. If you're on the ground level floor, as soon as you go outside, you want to enjoy a drink outside, a cocktail, like instantly you get attacked by mosquitoes. Myself even more. I don't know what it is. They love me, but I completely get destroyed all the time. No matter how much mosquito stuff, bug spray you put, you miss one spot, they'll find that spot. So there's a lot of geckos and things like that, which is not the end of the world. But at night, there's there's frogs. Some of them could be poisonous for the cats. I think Erica saw a little scorpion at one time. So it's just not our cup of tea. You can't leave your doors open. Forget about leaving your doors open. So the ACs are going. So the electricity costs are double than the apartment. We're paying over about 280 to 300 USD a month for power, which is pretty expensive. Power is pretty expensive in Panama, and we got a lot of ACs going all the time here. So there's pros and cons, but we feel like there's more cons than pros for us. So we've decided that, the lease ends in August. We might leave a little bit before that if we can, but our preliminary plan. So here is our preliminary plan now for this year. And by the way, another con I forgot is that we're not very important for us. Something that we miss really desperately is the beach. So at the Coronado Country Club, you have the beaches right there. You walk downstairs, the beach is there. You have a long stretch of beach. Here at the Vista Mar Marina, you have a really, really tiny beach that's private. You have the public beach. It's very hard to access the public beach. It's a 15-minute walk to get there. It's very hard. You got to go down rocks and stuff to get there. We've done it once. It's walking on the beach here is, let's just say, it's not convenient. That's another big thing that we miss and why we really want to go back to a tower. So our preliminary plan, my wife and I thought about this because another thing we also miss is really amenities from the city. We grew up in the city. Yes, it's a lot more noisy, but there's a lot of things in the city that there isn't here. This is more in the country, right? There's a lot of amenities and things like that. There's more restaurants. There's more convenience in the city. There's more stores. Everything is much more easily accessible in the city. So what we decided to do, and this is our preliminary plan, to really have the best time here in Panama, you got to have two places. So my wife and I realized that's probably what we're going to do. That's going to be the plan. So what we're going to do is we're going to probably rent a place in the city. We're going to go to the Panama City next. And we've said to ourselves, why look for should we go in this area or that area? There's a lot of great, nice, affordable places in the city to rent. It's definitely a buyer's market, a renter's market when it comes to real estate here. But we said, let's just go straight to the top, right? Why bother with, let's just get the best quality. Let's go to the best. And it turns out the best quality, or one of the most renowned towers in Panama City. What we really, that's very, very important for us, are the amenities, especially the gym and the quality. So one of the best and most renowned towers is actually the JW Marriott Hotel, which used to be Trump Tower. So Trump built a tower there, and then I guess it got bought by the Marriott. You can look it up. It's still called Old Trump Tower. Whenever you look at listings, it says Trump Tower Viejo or Old Trump Tower. So obviously it's going to be a very, very quality hotel. Marriott bought it. It's one of the nicest buildings in the city. It's huge. It's right on the water. No beach, right? It's more like at the edge of the water. It's really downtown Panama City. But what we really like about it, and we still have to visit it. We're going to visit it in a few months just to make sure. But my wife and I are pretty sure what we like. There's a really good quality gym in the building that you have access to. And there's high-end quality restaurants, multiple, also in the building. There's also a free shuttle that goes to a mall, which is very close, where you get all your shopping done. So in terms of convenience, it's really through the roof in this place, because we really want to get focused back on getting in shape and the gym. So the gym is there right now. Finally, a gym opened in Coronado, like a pretty good quality gym. It's a 10-minute drive. It's not bad, but we still feel like having everything in the tower is just super, super convenient. There's restaurants, there's a rooftop bar, and there's a lounge, and there's a pool area. There's even a little grocery store in the building. There's the mailbox place in the building. So there's unbelievable amenities and convenience in this tower. So our preliminary plan is, once this lease is over, or a little bit before, we're going to go to the city. We're going to sign a lease for at least a year. We're going to sign a year just to try it out. That's the advantage of renting, right? If it doesn't work out, you could always leave. In terms of getting a second, we're going to need to get a second place, kind of like a beach place, a vacation type place in Coronado. So it doesn't really make sense to rent two things simultaneously. And it's also a big buyer's market, especially in Coronado. And we feel like maybe going back to the country club, now that a lot of the renovations are over, that's where all our friends are. We know the place. The beach is amazing there. The quality is pretty good there. When it comes to Coronado, in terms of towers directly on the beach, there's really two main choices. If you want Coronado Central, it's Coronado Bay, which is actually the first tower that we went when we visited Panama for the first time, and we fell in love with it, and we started the whole residency process. Coronado Bay, and then there's the Coronado Country Club, where we spend most of our time in Panama there. So these are the places, the towers that are fairly good quality, well managed, directly on the beach. We do like the Coronado Country Club better. The grounds are better, the pool is better, the gym is really, really good at the country club as well. So we're thinking, because there's so many units for sale all the time, it's definitely a buyer's market. And here in Panama, if you have cash, if you pay cash, you could snipe a really, really good deal. So we feel we could easily get a standard 3-bed, 3-bath at Coronado Country Club at the high floor for somewhere between 200 and 300,000, depending on if it's renovated or not, furnished or not, etc. We feel fairly confident that we could maybe snipe something. So our plan is, while we're at Panama City and living there, be on the lookout and snipe something in Coronado as our second place, and just buy it and pay it cash, buy it outright. So this is where that 200K comes in. So in case you haven't seen the past video, when you're doing the Friendly Nations visa, you have to invest $200,000 into the country. Either you leave it in the bank and get interest, or you buy property. We left it in the bank. So that $200,000 USD is being unlocked July 1st of this year. So instead of course, I wanted to invest it, right? It would be silly not to. But we're going to use that cash, or that lump sum, to snipe that place in Coronado, our vacation home. Another thing is that this is very, very convenient when family comes and visits us. They could always go there. It's possible even to Airbnb it, rent it out. Maybe I'll do it like privately for you guys, my audience, or PII inner circle members that I trust, and that you guys could come and at that place and for a very low cost. So there's just more options, and plus we need a vacation place when we're fed up with the city, we want to spend a month, we could just go as we please to the beach, to the city to the beach. You know what I'm saying? So there's just more options. And the important thing, also, it's a pretty good idea to have a permanent place where we could store our stuff. Another thing, the city, very, very convenient. The airport's right there as well, right? From here, there could be traffic. It's always an hour and a half drive to go to the airport. It's always a bit of an annoyance. It's much easier there as well. And because we do want to start traveling a lot more. So this is our preliminary plan, guys. Basically, we're going to have our plan is to really have two places. That's really the way to go to make your life really convenient in Panama. And there's a lot of complexes on the beach. You know, Coronado Bay, Coronado Country Club. Those are just within Coronado. But you know, if you go further out, there's Rio Mar and Casamar, Ensenada. There's all kinds of complexes. Some are smaller than others, bigger than others. Directly, the beach is a bit different. The beach is longer. We visited a few of them, and we figured that one of the best places is really to stay central to Coronado, because that's where the good restaurants are. Our friends are all at the Coronado Country Club, people that we know, that we trust, that could watch our place when we're away. The other ones are a little bit more isolated. They're a little bit further away from the restaurants. The highest quality place is Buenaventura by far. But it's even 30-minute drive from Coronado, further west. And to get something on the beach there, you need like practically $1 million. It's a lot more expensive there. And there it's kind of like its own little complex as well. There's some restaurants and stuff, but we really like Coronado better. It's more of that small town feel where we know all the restaurants and we know everything, and our friends are there as well. So that's our plan. It's a preliminary plan, everyone. And one thing, in case you didn't know, my wife Erica worked on a Panama guide that talks a lot about Panama. And if you're thinking of visiting or becoming a resident here, getting your residency, I strongly suggest you check out that guide. Sorry, I'll put the link in the video description below. So let me know if you have any questions. I tried to cover everything: the residency, our living situation, our plan, that 200K, which some of you keep asking me about, which yes, I'm getting back, and I would have loved to invest it, obviously, but we're thinking of maybe keeping it, holding on to it. It'll make 3% interest, but the point is not to keep it and make 3% interest. The point is really to try to snipe something. And again, if you're paying cash here, you're not getting a mortgage, you could get a much better price. Apparently, it's very easy to do it, to get something. You could, condo going for example, some of the condos that we're interested in right now at Coronado Country Club, pretty good quality, 3-bed, 3-bath right on the beach. They go for about $300,000. There's a lot of them that are just staying there that haven't sold for a long time. It's definitely a buyer's market. There's a lot of supply here. That's why, much more supply than demand. So we could easily maybe snipe something for 230, 240, get a big chunk, especially if we say, we'll pay you now, we'll go cash. We're ready to go quick. My wife and I, we don't mess around when we have put our head to something. We're not going to go visit a million different places. We know the country club is great. There's the tennis, there's the gym, there's the 20, not the 24/7, but the concierge service that brings you ice and water whenever you want. There's a big pool there. The beach is great. So we figure permanently living there, maybe like 60-year-olds could do it, but for us, we still want the option of the city, the amenities of the city. So we need two places. So that's really the plan. Let me know if you guys have any questions. And by the way, please hit that like button. I would really appreciate it. Let me know if you guys have any questions about Panama in general. Maybe I could do a live stream where we could do it live. You could ask me questions live. I tried to cover as much as I could, but let me know if you have any questions, and see you next time.